Boom. I'm back. I'm back. Welcome to a solo episode of the Fundamentally Sound podcast. I'm your host for today's episode, Nick White, Hoodie Nick, whatever you want to call it. Yes, I'm blonde now. For those who don't know, it's a new look. We're trying something out. Relax. Don't flame me too much. But hey guys, obviously it's been not really a long time, but just a slight break since I've last gone live. But I just went into a little dark place mentally, but I'm out. I'm good now. I'm ready to talk some sports. So without further ado, for those of y'all just jumped in, I got a special surprise for y'all, man. If y'all haven't seen this, it's super dope. Yeah, man, we're really live out here. Hey, shout out to Elijah again for that clip. Welcome into it. All right, so before we get started with today's episode, got a few things to touch on. So I'll be going over some NBA stuff, obviously Western Conference Finals predictions, a couple pick'ems for you guys at the beginning of the show, and then at the end we'll go over NFL Week 1 hot takes. We'll go through each scores of each week and kind of dive into what I saw were my biggest takeaways from NFL Week 1. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. Let's do some quick pick 'em. Let me share my screen real quick for y'all that are tuning in. Okay. All right. So the first one we got up today, it's gonna be start bench cut. Simple one. Nothing too major. We got Jamal Murray on the left, Trae Young, and Kemba Walker. All right. So before we start, yes, one of them is currently not in the bubble. However, we're still going to debate them on regular season. Bubble doesn't matter, right? Okay. If you were to ask me this 2-3 months ago, I would have cut Jamal Murray. No debate about it, right? I would have cut Jamal Murray. However, he's shown me a lot. I mean, he's shown me that not only is he ready for the spotlight as a all-star, borderline superstar, but he's the real deal. Like he's shown me that, you know, he's persistent in the fact that he's gone through 2 7-game series and just came out a huge upset one, dropping 40 in an elimination game. Like that's beyond measure. So I'm definitely going to have to start him. It gets tough because Trae Young is so, you know, phenomenal at what he does. He's literally the second coming of Steph. And then Kemba is just, you know, one of the best game managers at the point guard position. But I'm gonna cut Kemba. I think I'm gonna cut Kemba. The thing is with these two, Trae Young and Kemba, like they don't play defense. Like they're not gonna defend to save their lives. However, I think Trae Young, and I think a lot of people can agree that Trae Young is a better shooter. I would like to believe he's a better playmaker. He's just on a rebuilding team. If you put Trae Young on the Celtics, my God, like just imagine the damage he could do on that team. Yeah, he wouldn't be averaging 40 and 15 like he is now because of the volume share that he would have to kind of acclimatize to. But I definitely think that Trae Young is the better basketball player than Kemba Walker, especially in the given situation that they're in. So I like the order that it's already in. I'm going to start Jamal Murray, bench Trae Young, cut Kemba Walker. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Next up, oh, that was already there. All right, we got cut 3, keep 1. Okay. Kind of some fundamental big men in the league today. You got Bam Adebayo up in the top right, Joel Embiid top left, Cat bottom left, and Jokic, the Joker, at the bottom right. Okay, like I said, same thing as last one. Taking into the account the bubble, I'm taking into account the regular season. All of it gets taken into account when I'm doing this. The interesting thing about this is that right off the rip, Cat gets so much slander. I don't know if it came from the Jimmy Butler incident or because his team sucks, but I don't know where that's coming from. Cat is an all-star, 20 and 10, easy. He's also the best big man on this list and probably in the league at spacing the floor. In terms of spacing, I mean being able to consistently hit a jump shot, right? And then just being able to play in the pick and roll game. Yes, Jokic can do that, but Jokic is definitely the best facilitator on this list. Excuse me. Embiid, great defender, probably the best defender in terms of the interior defense on this list. And then Bam is definitely the most versatile. I mean, definitely can guard 2 through 5 if he really wanted to. but obviously lacks in the not defense, in the rebounding category as well as the scoring, just because of his lack of shooting. But the first one I'm going to cut because of the lack of shooting, because of the lack of being able to rebound consistently. I'm going to go with Bam. I do think he has a very bright future. I mean, my goodness, I didn't expect this. I don't think anybody did coming from him when he got drafted, but he's shown a lot of people wrong, basically. But I'm going to cut him. He's the first one off. I think everybody can agree on that, I hope. The next one is tough. This is so hard between these three. I don't want to go off recency bias because then we're looking at Jokic, number one. In my opinion, I'm going to cut Joel Embiid. And here's why. It really has to do with like his demeanor, right? It's so wishy-washy that in terms of like who I would want on my team, I wouldn't want somebody with like the attitude or the drama that comes with it. Like all the baggage that that he brings along with him, like the emotions, like the frustration that's visibly shown on the court. I don't want it. I don't like it. And I don't know. He just whines too much. He just cries way too much. And I don't like that about him. Yes, that is kind of little and nitpicky to, pick at as far as who would I pick on this list. But I'm going to cut him just because of that. I hate that about Joel Embiid. Cat, like I said, I don't know where all this slander is getting from. He's going to go number two, clearly just because Jokic is dominating and he's showing everybody why he is the best big man in the league. But let's not get it twisted, okay? Cat is a phenomenal big man, if not the best big man on a rebuilding team. Can shoot the ball extremely well, can obviously play the pick and roll well, can rebound, can defend. Just watch highlights, please. Just go watch film and you'll understand why I say that. But yes, Jokic is number one. Do not let me get that twisted up here. Jokic is number one. I'm cutting the other three. The last pick'em is not really a pick'em, but it's a kind of neat image that I found on Instagram the other day. So these are number 2 overall picks by tier, okay, over the last 25 years. Obviously, you have your busts, you have your role players, you have your stars, you have your legends, quote unquote, and then the GOAT. Obviously, KD is probably the best number 2, clearly the best number 2 overall pick in history. But definitely in the last 25 years, when you're looking at this list, I'm not going to lie to y'all, I don't know who this is. If y'all could help me, I don't know who that is. And I should know who that is, but I don't know who that is. Everybody else I can name you on this list, without a doubt. Stromos Swift, Jay Williams, Darko, Emeka, Marvin Williams, Michael Beasley, Hasheem Thabeet, Evan Turner, Derek Williams, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Beasley, Jabari Parker, Lonzo, Marcus Camby, Tyson Chandler, Mike Bibby, Antonio McDyess, Vic Oladipo, D-Russ, B.I., and Steve Franchise. So help me out. I don't know who that is. But looking at this list, I think the first thing that pops out is this. Legend is kind of a reach because, in my opinion, a legend has a ring, and a legend has superior accolades, if I'm not mistaken. I think LaMarcus should definitely fall under stars. I think legend is a very, very, very hard reach because of the lack of accolades and the lack of titles that he has. But I mean, y'all can debate me all you want. I don't like that at all. I think that was the first thing that popped in my head when I saw this image. I was like, LA, a legend? No, I'm sorry. I can't do that. Steve Franchise. Steve Franchise, that's his nickname, Steve Franchise. Solid. I like it. Ja, obviously, he's going to be the future of the NBA. B.I., once again, D-Russ, Vic, Antonio McDyess. I never really got to see Antonio McDyess in his prime. So to put him as a star, that's bold. So I can't really argue that. I mean, you can't argue these role players as well, so I'm not even going to get into tier 4, but we can definitely get into tier 5. Okay. Lonzo Ball is not a bust. I don't know how many times I have to repeat this, but Lonzo Ball is not a bust. If you think he's a bust, you don't know basketball. Like, you clearly don't watch it. He can't shoot. I understand that. He can't shoot. It's still very iffy, and he played awful in the bubble. So I understand that side of things. But the man plays defense. He's a great playmaker, and his basketball IQ is out of this world. If you actually watch basketball, you would know that. Jabari, he's injury prone, so I can't really say nothing. He's Marvin Bagley. Once again, his injuries are just killing him off the court. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, his jump shot was the reason why he didn't. Dude shot like, yeah. Anytime your elbow's at your eyes when you shoot like that, like and it's cocked in all the way, you're not gonna be successful in the league. Derek Williams, I think he got like on some type of drug addiction. I think that's why he's out of the league. Evan Turner's definitely a bust. Hasheem Thabeet, I don't even remember him playing. Michael Beasley, he can't get any type of two-way / like minimum vet contract, so he's a bust. Marvin Williams, I mean, yeah, he had a great quote-unquote career, but if we're being honest, it's a very ugly career. He wasn't ever great or good at anything. Matt Okafor, decent. I would have put him in role player because he did play his role. Darko Milicic, obviously, he should have never even touched the basketball. Jay Williams, that's not fair. He got injured. A lot of things going on with him mentally. I don't consider him to be a bust. He just got very unlucky. And Stromile Swift, I think that's Stromile Swift, I believe it is. He actually was a highlight reel. He was a highlight film. He was dunking on everybody. So I don't know about the bust category for him. Let me know what y'all think about this one. Just a quick little image that I wanted to share with everybody. Let me see what I got in these comments. That is dope. John, what you talking about? Oh, you talking about the video? I think he's talking about the video. I think you are. What up, John? All right, y'all. So this is probably my favorite part about this episode. Okay, let's start off by talking about the Los Angeles Clippers. What do you want to call it? What do y'all want to call it? I'm going to call it the disintegration of the Los Angeles Clippers. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Listen, John, I'm not even going to get into that comment. We'll get into that later. Listen, the Los Angeles Clippers folded. Completely folded. I made a TikTok video. I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to even send it to anybody. If you have me on TikTok, you saw it. Listen, let's talk about the Clippers real quick. Okay, first off, we're going to start with this. Losing 3-1 to the Denver Nuggets in this series, I think this upset is the biggest upset in history. Yes, including the Golden State crumble in 2016. This is beyond that. You're talking about what was supposed to be the best defensive team in the league, the deepest team in the league, led by two superstars. We'll get into that in a little bit. And you go up 3-1 and lose in 7, and Jamal Murray puts 40 on your dome in an elimination game. I'm sorry. Biggest upset in NBA history. Debate me all you want. We can go all day on that. Number 2, okay? Let's please bring the Kawhi slander. Can we please bring it back? I don't know where this idea came from that his resume matches up with LeBron, and if he won this championship, he would be up with Jordan. Listen, at the end of the day, if you lose in the Western Conference semis, and you have 14 points and shoot 6 for 22, where is the heat? Where is the slander for Kawhi? Why are we not holding him to the same standards as LeBron? I'm not trying to say like, oh, he should basically be ridiculed, all this. No. But where is the same level, those same standards level that we hold if LeBron shoots 6 for 22 in an elimination game? I promise you. Oh, why are we putting him in GOAT talk? Why is he considered the number 2? I promise you, it's all day, all week, especially on ESPN. My goodness, they're going to fry him. So where is the same thing for Kawhi? Y'all want to talk about he's the second best player in the league, debatedly. Y'all want to talk about how he's the best basketball player in the playoffs. 6 for 22 is not going to cut it. Okay, that's enough on Kawhi. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Paul George. Sheesh. Okay, where do I even start on Paul George? The thing about Paul George is, and Stephen A. touched on it earlier, I saw a little clip on what he said. He might be the next coming of Dwight Howard. And that is probably the most, the closest to true thing I've ever heard about Paul George. He is the next coming of Dwight Howard. That is very, very tough. I think the shoulder injury had a lot to do with it. Obviously, the leg injury, which I don't wish upon anybody. Like, that's completely out of the picture when we're talking about this. But the man was top 3 in MVP candidates like 2 years ago, or maybe even last year, and like top 3 in DPOY candidates in the same year. 10 points in an elimination game. He was bad the whole series, so we don't even have to talk about the elimination game. Just he was bad the whole series. But from when Dame and him had the beef to Game 7 against the Nuggets, I mean, I don't know what was going on with him mentally. I don't want to assume anything. Like, I don't want to assume like, oh, it was just bad basketball. Like, he could have had something going on in his life personally that I don't know about, and I don't want to attack anybody's mental illness or mental health or whatever you want to call it, right? But my goodness, Dame put him into some type of mental depression ever since they got into the beef, because he's never been the same since. They labeled him Pandemic P. Pandemic P. I've told y'all multiple times on this podcast, multiple times to all my friends, to even my family members, Paul George is the most overrated player in the league, and it's showing. It is showing. Supposed top 10 player in the league, top 4, top 3 small forward. No. I'm sorry. I apologize, but that's not the case. Like I said, Dame did something to his head because he just completely folded in the playoffs. From when they played the Blazers in the regular season, bubble regular season, to Game 7 against the Nuggets. It's unbelievable. Hey, but look, I got to shout out to the Nuggets, man. I got to give a shout out to the Nuggets. To win 2 7-game series, you're playing 14 games in the bubble every other day. You beat probably the best on-roster team in the league, the deepest bench in the league in 7. You come back 3-1 twice. I got to give it to them. They're looking scary. I'm not going to lie. For my Lakers, they look scary. However, when we're talking Western Conference predictions, it's just hard to go against the Lakers in this situation. Yes, I sound biased. I understand. However, if you really look at it, you're talking about a team that's coming off 2 7-game series, a team that really can't defend. Like, they can defend to a certain extent, but if you really think about it, Jamal Murray is a very poor defender, and so is Jokic. Like, I hope everybody knows that. Jokic can't defend AD. He will not be able to do it. Will not. I'll give you guys some credit, though. I'll give them some credit, essentially. Gary Harris is back. He looks good. He's a great perimeter defender. And I think it's Torrey or Tony. I think it's Torrey. Torrey Craig is solid defensively. Like, he can't shoot to save his life, and he literally does nothing but defend, but he does it well. So he's going to be annoying to LeBron. I wouldn't say he will hold LeBron, but because LeBron's playing on some type of different planet when it comes to his level of play, I really think I don't see them winning more than 1 game. I honestly can see them. The Lakers will win in 5. Then that's being realistic. Like, I'm being realistic. At first, obviously, on Twitter, I was like, "Oh yes." I think LeBron, he continues this dominance that he's playing with. I love to see it. And AD, for some reason, he looked like not phased, but just a little bothered by PJ Tucker. I don't know what was going on in that series, but he just looked off. Like, I don't know what was happening. But he kills Jokic. Every time they play, he's averaging 25 and 10 easily. I think he had a 40 game on him in the regular season, like the actual regular season before the bubble. So AD is going to have he's going to have his way with Jokic or Millsap, whoever they match up on him. And then, I don't know, our shooters are just shooting better. The Lakers shooters are just shooting a lot better. KCP, I actually trust. Let me tell y'all, when KCP, like, I want to say the first round and even in the bubble, when he put up a shot, like, my heart dropped. Every time I was shaking. I was nervous because he was struggling to shoot. Same way with Danny Green. I don't know what happened during quarantine, but Danny Green came back and acted like he forgot how to shoot. He broke the record for threes in the finals before, and then he came back and it was just awful. It was completely bad. But them two, along with Caruso, oh my gosh, Caruso's playing out his mind too. He's a perfect role player. But between them three, Markieff Morris playing excellent. I just think the Lakers are too much. I think they're just too much. They're playing at a very high level. Their chemistry looks good. The defense looks phenomenal. I mean, the defense we played on the Rockets was, and I don't want to hear Russ and Harden had a bad shit. No, we played great defense. Like, give us the respect that we deserve. Now, on the flip side of this, I think we come out and we lose game one again because for some reason we always have to lose game one in order to get our stride going. So we'll lose game one, we'll win 4 straight again. That's my prediction. But I think AD is going to be the MVP of this series. I really do. I just don't think there's anybody on the Nuggets roster that can contain him. If we're being honest, nobody. So that's my prediction for the West. Obviously, everybody knew that coming in. Just wanted to put that out there. All right. In terms of – that's not what I want to do. In terms of the Eastern Conference, right? I mean, this is a heavyweight. You got Miami deep roster-wise, right? Just phenomenally coached as well. Eric Spoelstra deserves a lot of credit for that team. A lot of credit. Jimmy's playing crazy. I mean, I really didn't expect this out of him. I really thought they were going to get booted in the second round by Giannis, but he's playing good. Bam is playing his role, like I said, most versatile big man in the league. And then Tyler Hero. I mean, I really have to hold my tongue on this one, but he's playing great. He is. I definitely thought he was going to be a bust coming out of Kentucky. I didn't think he was good because he was fragile, small, couldn't really defend, but he's playing great. And their defense is the reason why they win. Their defense is, I tell you, Eric Spoelstra's doing a great job. Now, on the flip side, Boston. I said this coming in. I said Kemba is going to be the reason why they will not advance if they do get knocked out in any round. I don't really think I don't know how to explain this. He is a great fit for them because he's not really dominant on the ball. He doesn't need the ball. But I think because his inability to play defense, one, and the fact that if he's off, I think their whole team is just like done for. If he has a bad shooting night, I don't think they can carry the weight. So with that said, Jason Tatum's a dog. Jaylen Brown's a dog. Daniel Tice, he's showing me a lot, and he's showing me that he's a very underrated big man. If you really watch him, he's very underrated. I like the way he plays. And then Marcus Smart, obviously, we know best role player probably in the league. Definitely deserve all defensive first team. I just think Miami is built to win now. And it's because of their, I wouldn't even say their core. If we're talking core, it's the Boston Celtics, right? Tatum, Brown, Kemba, Marcus Smart, right? That's their core. In terms of core, I think that outmatches Dragic, Butler, Bam, and Hero all day, every day. I'm taking the Celtics core over the Miami core. But in terms of this series, I think it's going to have to take more than the core. Obviously, the role players, the bench. And I think between Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Myers Leonard is a great role-playing big man, even though he doesn't really play. Andre Iguodala brings a lot of veteran experience. I just think that's too much for the Celtics. I really do. This series will go 7, though. It will go 7. Don't get it twisted. This will go 7. However, I think it will go 7 down to the last possession. I just think that when you guys watch this series, you're going to see, like, outside of the core of the Celtics, they can't get any other help. They can't get any other help. And I think that's going to be the reason why they end up losing. So I have the Heat in 7. I got the Lakers in 5. We'll get to finals prediction in the next episode because I don't want to touch base on that too much. Excuse me. If y'all have any takes on the conference finals predictions, let me know, and I'll gladly go back and debate that with y'all. But moving on, because like I said, this episode is going to be real quick since it's just me by myself. NFL week 1. Look, football is back. My fantasy teams look great. I mean, yeah, John, I lost to you week 1 in one of our leagues, but hey, my team in that league looks great. My other fantasy league, I put up 150 non-PPR. So that team, I pray that I get no injuries. Shout out to my dad. He has probably 8 people on IR right now. So his next week's lineup is all waiver wire targets. But fantasy wise, I'm loving it. I love that football is back. But getting into the week 1 takes, I got this pulled up for y'all just so that way you're not looking at me the entire time and my boring face. All right, so we're going to go through each game, not too far, not too in-depth, but just enough to where we can talk about it and y'all can debate me if y'all want. So, obviously, we're just going to start at the top. Kansas City and Houston, we don't need to debate this at all. What is said doesn't need to be explained or whatever the saying is. We don't need to talk about this game. Kansas City looks good. They're looking like they're ready for another Super Bowl berth. Houston is obviously lacking something on offense. Sean Watson needs help, and their defense is, that'll never change. Their defense is awful, especially their secondary. Bears and Lions. This game was actually a lot closer than I thought. Mitchell Trubisky actually played well. They did get lucky. DeAndre Swift had a horrendous drop. Horrendous. Like wide open, completely wide open. The Lions definitely missed Kenny Golladay. So hopefully he comes back soon. Matthew Stafford obviously has rapport with him. But in terms of the Lions, TJ Hawkinson looks like he's worthy of a first-round draft pick. So he looks good. And then, like I said, with the Bears, Mitchell looks great. They're having some contract issues with Allen Robinson right now. So we'll see how that goes. But definitely didn't expect Bears to win that game. Jets and Bills, it doesn't need to be explained. Bills look phenomenal. Their defense is immaculate. Josh Allen looks like he's ready to take that next step into being a premier quarterback in the league. I just think Bills are missing a running game. I think they didn't need to. They did, but they didn't. I think their run game just needs to be a little bit more polished up. But other than that, they look good. The Jets suck. We're just going to put that out there right now. Adam Gase needs to be fired immediately. He, for some reason, they just don't look like they want to be there, and I think that's his fault. There's a reason why Jamal Adams requested for a trade. It wasn't really because of the franchise. It was really because of him. So that's just an ugly mess. Le'Veon Bell is, I don't know, he's washed, in my opinion, or he's just on the wrong team. Jets are a mess. Eagles, Redskins. I love it. Yes, I was lost. But, you lose to a team that doesn't have a mascot or a name? The Washington football team. You lost to the Washington football team. I love it. I absolutely love it. To all my Eagles fans out there, I don't know how y'all did it, but this is easily the worst loss of week one. My goodness. In terms of the Washington football team, though, there's a lot of hype coming around them saying oh, they're going to be the winners coming out of the NFC East this season. No, let's relax. Let's all calm down. Y'all have a great defensive line. Great defensive line. Chase Young is going to be an animal down there. Your defense is definitely missing other pieces, though. You have no secondary. You have no linebackers at all. Offense, Dwayne Haskins looks okay. Obviously, they need a running game. Hopefully, Antonio Gibson or whatever his name is can obviously take that number one spot. And then Terry McLaurin, he's got to be the number one guy. Feed him the ball. So that's that. Raiders, Panthers. Honestly, I didn't expect this game to be as good as it was. I actually watched this game because I had Josh Jacobs, who went crazy, by the way, 3 touchdowns. Gotta love it. So thank you for that, Josh. But Raiders look like they're going to ride him to the end. So, because Derek Carr sucks. He didn't play bad, but he sucks. We all know, and we can all agree. I hope that he sucks. Their defense is still terrible, horrendous. But on the Panthers side of things, their defense is the reason why they lost this game. Their offense looked great. Him and Robbie Anderson are going to be a great duo, and DJ Moore is right there behind. And then obviously Christian McCaffrey's a leading MVP candidate every year, so he's definitely back and better. Dolphins, Patriots. The Patriots are going to have to find a way to get Cam to throw the ball more. I love it. I love the fact that he's succeeding. I love the fact that he had 2 touchdowns, rushed for the most rushing yards as a quarterback in Patriots history with 75 yards. He literally took 1 rush and he already passed that record. But they got to find a way to pass the ball because I really don't think I just think defenses will catch on, coaches will catch on, systems will catch on, and they're going to have to throw. So he's going to have to throw the ball. Josh McDaniels is an offensive genius, though, so he'll find a way to make it happen. Hey, the Dolphins, look, y'all are coached well. The roster's looking prominent. I can't wait till Tua gets there. That's literally all it comes down to. I cannot wait till Tua gets in under center because same old, same old. He's just going to throw it 40 times, and he's going to have 2 picks, might have a touchdown, but I just can't wait till Tua comes in. Packers, Vikings, oh, my gosh. Devontae Adams, have you a day. My goodness. He went crazy. The Vikings defense looks horrendous. Horrendous. Aaron Rodgers proved that he is going to be there for a little while. Don't panic. Jordan Love, you can keep warming that bench. Don't got to worry about it. And Aaron Rodgers just proved it. I'm still that guy. I hope you guys know this. I'm still that man. So to do that against your division rivals, that was disrespectful. So shout out to them. Dalvin Cook looks good. I mean, obviously got the contract. Kirk Cousins looked good. Him and Adam Thielen had a good connection going on during the game. But it's their defense. That's the reason why the Vikings lost. Chargers Bengals didn't get to watch much of this because the other game that was on was the Saints game. And so didn't tune into this one much. Heard Joe look good. He had a rushing touchdown. But this game was just very low scoring. So I'm assuming it was good defense. But I'm going to go on the side of bad offense. I think the Chargers still got work to do with Tyrod Taylor being their quarterback. I think they should feed the ball to Eckler more. I think he's the best running back committee and deserves more workload. And in terms of the Bengals, I mean, look, the future's promising. They're playing right now, I think. So we'll see how they can do against the Browns. Their future looks good offensively, but, I mean, once again, their defense is going to be the reason why they lose games. Baltimore and Cleveland, I'm not going to touch on this at all. Cleveland, I don't know what it is. And I really am trying to assess what is wrong with Cleveland because it's not the offense. As much as everybody wants to blame the offense, I really don't think it's the offense. I really think it's the defense. I really do. Outside of their D-line, like they have nobody that can help out their D-line. Like I think the blame needs to be put on the defense more than the offense. Baker's not playing good, don't get me wrong, but I think majority of the blame needs to go on the defense. Seattle and Atlanta. Man, okay. I watched this game. I watched it, so I can talk about it. Atlanta is going to have to put up 40 to 50 points in to win games. Their defense is the same. Like it's just they just go out there and they just say, "Hey, here's the door. Y'all can go through it. Touchdowns on the other side." Their defense is awful. But Matt Ryan, my gosh, like every year he just seems to be getting better, and people don't really see it. I do. Like I really do. He had a bunch of garbage time stats, though. Let's not get that twisted. Like he had like 2 touchdowns in the span of 2 minutes within the last 2 minutes of the game, and like 200 yards within those 2 minutes. So his stats were definitely over like inflated, I guess, because of garbage time minutes. But he looks good. It's great as well. Todd Gurley looks like he wants to play football. So I think the move to get out of LA was good for him to go back home to Atlanta. He looks good. Seattle's just nice. My goodness. I mean, the takeaway from this is Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is that guy. That trade is looking like it was worth it. I don't care what those picks turn out to be for the Jets. Jamal Adams is that man. And Russell Wilson, there's no other quarterback besides Patrick Mahomes and Lamar that's playing at his level. So he's that guy as well. All right. Indianapolis, Jacksonville, didn't watch this at all. I mean, Minshew magic, y'all. I didn't believe it. I still don't believe it. But for some reason, it might work. Phillip Rivers sucks. Phillip Rivers sucks. Like, I think I don't have to touch base on that too much. But the loss of Marlon Mack definitely hurts. But I think this is kind of what everybody expected. Not saying like, oh, we expected Marlon Mack to get hurt. But Jonathan Taylor is ready. Him and Nyheim Hines, they're going to be a group punch for that offense. It just Phillip Rivers has to play football the right way. But I definitely was shocked by the Jags. I mean, they have nobody on offense except Minshew and Chark, but they made it work. They did. They made it work. And their defense is, outstanding with Chatham and their cornerback that they drafted out of the draft. They look good. So shout out to the Jaguars. All right, last couple ones here. Arizona, San Francisco. All I'm going to say is this. Arizona needs to be respected. Kyler Murray, dark horse MVP. Arizona needs to be respected. I think they're a playoff team this year. I'm calling it now. And then the 49ers just lost Richard Sherman, so that's not good. He's on IR for the next 3 weeks. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Y'all have pretty much seen the news about, is Tampa Bay overrated? Like, blah, blah, blah. Listen, they played a good Saints team. Let's not forget that the Saints are top 5 in the league. Okay, so this was not a surprise to anybody that they lost. Now, the way that they lost was very ugly. Tom Brady had 2 picks. One was because of Mike Evans. But I just think that people need to calm down. Tom Brady is he's not the same Tom Brady, but he's still Tom Brady, best player of all time, GOAT, in my opinion. And the offense just needs to click. They just need chemistry. No preseason, no scrimmages, like none of that to get really loaded up and warm for the first game of the regular season. So, and to play against New Orleans is a tough first week. So I just think everybody just needs to relax, give them time. They'll be a wild card team. Oh my God, I don't even want to get into the Cowboys game. Okay, something's wrong with Kellen Moore. I don't know what it is, though, because for some reason he limits Dak. Like, Dak didn't throw a pass over 20 yards until the last play where we had the OPI. Why is that, Kellen? Kellen, why? We're going to ride Zeke till he can't ride no more, and I'm okay with it to a certain extent, but I'm not. 3 great wide receivers. We have the best wide receiver trio in the league, in my opinion, so why don't we use them? So Zeke's going to have 25 touchdowns this year. Great, but we'll probably go 8-8 because of it. We got to utilize our receivers. We just got to. We can't keep throwing slants and curl routes. It's got to stop. Dak, you need to show us why you deserve a contract, please. The Rams on the other side, I think Malcolm Brown is completely overrated. I think he had a great game because our defense is confused right now. Alden Smith looks good. Our D-line looks great, so that's a plus. Our linebackers continue to get hurt. LVE's out. Sean Lee needs to retire. So Smith is by himself again. But the Rams, I mean, their offense is always going to be there, right? The Rams' offense, but their defense is the reason why they won this game. I mean, when you have Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, like, you have to do something with that. So I really wasn't surprised by their defensive play in that game. Giants Steelers doesn't need to be talked about. Steelers defense is top 2 in the league, in my opinion. The Giants, I mean, Saquon needs to be helped. He needs help. Darius Slayton and his connection with Daniel Jones looks good, but they got to get Saquon going. He's an MVP candidate if he does get going, I should say. And then Tennessee and Denver, I definitely thought I predicted this would be pretty much a heavyweight fight. Came down literally to the last kick. Derrick Henry got 35,000 touches, so definitely was expected there because they don't trust Tannehill with the ball. And then the Broncos need to figure out their running back situation. I think Melvin Gordon is not the answer. I think they need to give it to Phillip Lindsay. But Drew Lock looked good in the first half of the half. So you can, knock me for the second half if you play bad. But in the first half, I saw Drew Lock was playing pretty well. And Jerry Jeudy looks good as well. So that is it for week 1. Let me see if anybody had anything for me in the stream. Oh, wow. Okay, we got a lot. Okay, so Cowboys are not back. Okay, let me just put this up. John says Seattle's nice. Yes, John, I completely agree. Seattle is looking like a Super Bowl contender. Jamal Adams is the reason that defense is thriving so well. He literally can change the whole dynamic of a game. And then Russell Wilson, DK, like Chris Carson looked great, man. He looked like he wants to be there this year. He looks great. So Seattle is nice. I agree. Okay, yes, I understand. They're not back. I know. I'm depressed about it too. I don't know, John. What do you think? What do you think is the problem? And I mean, John, Dad, what do y'all think the problem is in Dallas? I think it's the offense limiting Dak. I wouldn't even say limiting Dak because I feel like it's there. I feel like the options are there. It might just be Dak. I don't know. Talk to me about it. But not as bad as the Eagles. Completely agree. Eagles look terrible. Falcons have a Super Bowl. My dad said Falcons have a Super Bowl offensive team. Correct. Like, I don't know what it is with their offense, but their high octane offense is the only reason why they will be in games. Have to put up 50 points in order to keep up. My dad also said Derek Carr is just missing a receiver like Jerry Rice. He needs to come out of retirement. Dad, stop. Come on now. Honestly, though, you might have a point. Not have a point, but like, if Jerry Rice came out of retirement, he's easily a top 20 receiver. I'm not gonna lie to you. He also said Browns are the best on-paper team ever in the NFL. I love them. Yeah, on roster they look like they should be, 14-2, but unfortunately they can't get things together. And like I said, I think it's their defense. I don't know, but we'll see how that goes. Zeke was the running back, receiver, and tight end for the Cowboys. Completely agree. Like I said, we're going to ride him till he literally tears an ACL. I didn't mean to say that. I promise you I didn't mean to say that. I promise you that just came out. I'm knocking. Okay. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that. I'm just going to move on. Yes, we need to find some type of offense outside of Zeke. Otherwise, we're done for. We're going 6-10. Like, something has to change. And then my dad also said, Denver has a dummy for a coach. They're a coach away from the playoffs. Yeah, their coach is a dummy, but I don't know about playoff, Dad. I don't know. They have to figure out that running back situation. They have to, because in my opinion, Melvin Gordon, like I said, he sucks. I think he's completely washed now. Phil Lindsay's that guy. He's ready. He needs opportunity. But I know I had a lot of not hate but criticism for Drew Lock. I don't think he was like supposed to be this hyped as he is, but I mean he played good. He played good. But yeah, going back to Dallas, guys, like I just I don't know what has to change. Obviously, our defense, right? Our defense, it starts with the defense. Our corners are just not there yet. I don't know why we signed Brandon Carr. He's 45 years old. Trayvon Diggs, he looks good. He looked good. But once again, Jalen Smith just needs help. Our line's gonna be there, but Jalen Smith needs help. And then on offense, we got to figure out something. Get it out of Zeke's hand as much. I mean, ride him, obviously. Obviously, give him 20 touches a game and get him involved in the passing game. But, God, we got to use our receivers, man. We got to use our receivers. Let me see if y'all said something on Facebook. Because I don't get the notifications on Facebook. Let's see. All right. So my mom said on going back to the NBA, PG choked. And then coach said Bears are the monsters of the Midwest. No, stop it. If you believe in the Bears, seek help. I promise you, they just got, like I said, they were literally one drop away from losing that game. If DeAndre Swift puts his hands the right way and focuses on that catch, they lose that game. My mom said about them Chargers. Ma, no, we're not going to get into this. The Chargers are not good this year. I'm sorry, but I don't think Tyrod Taylor can take y'all anywhere. He's great. Yeah, he's good, but I just don't think he's good enough to bring them anywhere. Defense is really good for the Chargers, though, on paper. They just have to figure out something in their linebacking core, but the Chargers do look good. All right, y'all. Last couple minutes here for some hot takes. Hit me with it. Basketball, NFL, what y'all got for me? Let me see if let's see. Boy, Nate hopping on the Twitter live stream. What's up, Nate? What you think about the playoffs, bro? What you got? I got LA versus Miami. LA versus Miami. I was about to say something too. Oh, also on the Clippers thing, right? So let's talk about the Clippers again. Sorry to go back to NBA, but I want to talk about this too as well. Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, where were they? I don't know where they were. They were nowhere to be found, in my opinion. My goodness. But the rumor that the Toronto Raptors are pursuing Montrezl Harrell. Is it good pickup? No. In my opinion, no, that's not a good pickup. I think that they need to build around the team they have now. I think they are a small forward away. I don't know how to explain it. They definitely need to get rid of Marc Gasol. I think Marc Gasol he needs to hang it up. So I think they're a big away, but I don't think Montrez is the answer there. I just don't think he's gifted offensively enough to hold his end. I think he fits perfectly defensively. And the fact that they're so versatile 1 through 5, well, kind of, not really, but they can play both. Everybody on the team can play both ways. Like Nick Nurse has done a great job with that. I just don't think Montrez is a good fit because he can't score, and they need people to score. The reason why they lost that series is because Pascal does spin moves from one end baseline to the other, and he can't score. He's the reason why they lost. He shot 12% from the 3-point line. 12%. I'm pretty sure No. I'm pretty sure Dwight Howard, if you gave him the same amount of attempts as Pascal Siakam got to shoot threes, I'm pretty sure he would hit more than 12%. So I don't know about that one. But Lou Will, ever since he got back from, ATL and the club and getting his wings from the city, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened. He looked awful all playoffs. Nobody heard from him. Like nobody was like, "Oh my God, did you see Lou Will's highlights last night?" Nobody, literally nobody. So I mean, the choke from the I love to talk about it. I love it. It was so beautiful to see. So beautiful to see. I do feel bad for Doc, though. I'm not going to lie. To choke 3-1 in 2 separate decades, or 3, no, I think it's 3. Because apparently he choked in the Magic series when they had Penny. Oh, no, not Penny. I'm sorry. Tracy McGrady. They were up 3-1 in the series with the Orlando Magic. And I think he choked then when he was the coach. He choked with the Clippers back in 2014, 15. And then now he choked with the Clippers in 2020. So I think like that some weird stat, like bizarre stat, like he's the first coach to ever like get upset 3-1 in 3 different decades. Like that's crazy to me. Crazy. Going back to football, Dallas. My dad said Dallas needs to get a mean and nasty attitude change. They are a bunch of nice guys, and they need an in-your-face guy like T.O. Agreed. I think they are playing soft, especially on their defense. We do need to find some type of I guess attitude is the right word. Like we want to win, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't go on up there and collect a paycheck. I think that's what most of those guys look like they're doing. They just don't look like they want to play football. Another reason why we lost too is like not lost, but we don't look as good as our offensive line just cannot stay healthy. My gosh. Like we just can't find any consistent health when it comes to our team. Like, and yeah, that's inevitable and injuries are inevitable, but I don't know what happened. Like I just 1 minute left guards down, 1 minute centers down, 1 minute our right tackle's out. Unfortunate to see. My dad said the Clippers need outside shooters. Well, we'll see what happens in the offseason, Dad, because I just, for some reason, I don't know. I put the blame on Paul George. Like, you can't be the second superstar on the team folding like that. So I put the blame completely on Paul George on that one. All right, we're going to get ready to wrap it up unless I have any more. Let me check the Facebook stream. I don't know why it doesn't show me the comments on Facebook. Okay. That's all we got for today's podcast, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Me and Austin and John will be back on the podcast next week to talk NBA and more NFL 2 news. Chris, what up? Last one. OKC is going to be a problem in the next few years. If they can get their draft picks right, because they have 5 in the next 5 years, literally 5 first-round draft picks, I think you might be right. I don't know what their plan is with CP. I think he should stay. But they definitely need a bench. I think they're a bench away from contending for possible Western Conference Finals-ish. But their future does look bright. So I got to give that one to you, Chris. But anyways, it was – can I hide this? I don't want this on. It's good being back, man. I missed y'all. I missed being on here. I missed talking sports. I'm so glad the NFL's back so we can talk more sports. But other than that, I will catch you on the next episode. Listen, this video is going to be the intro and the outro. So